Welcome guys to this tutorial series where we are doing this animated human with simulated clothes. In this tutorial we're gonna upload our character to Mixamo. There we're gonna animate a walk cycle and then we will export it and bring it back to Blender again. In Blender we're gonna reassign the materials to the high quality materials that we had originally. This will get lost in the exports. And I also want to remind you to have a good naming of your materials before you export the Blender file into an FBX to animate in Mixamo. This will facilitate for you to reassign the materials. The resources that we use in this tutorial series can be downloaded for free by following the link in the description below. So you go to mixamo.com and you need an Adobe account to use this tool. And we're not going to go to characters but to animations. So here we have a whole library of animations. But before we start doing the animation, we're gonna upload our character. So press this button, upload character, and you can either drop your file here or you can search for it in your browser. And the upload can take a little bit of time. And as I mentioned, due to the materials that we have set up for this guy, he looks quite weird in this interface, but don't worry about it. Make sure that the character is facing towards us. So you can rotate the character with these buttons or move it like this, but you need to make sure that he's looking at us. Then press next. Then we place these dots here according to the guide. So this is the shin, and these are the wrists, the elbows, the knees, and the groin. So that's all we need. And then next. This time our character turned out really small in Mixamo, but don't worry, it will work anyway. So here is our little character, and we just confirm that we will use this one. And next. So let's zoom in a bit on our character, and we can also press this button, toggle follow camera, so we make sure that we are following our character when it's moving. And then we will search among these animations for something called standard walk. And we will find this one, and our character will walk in a quite normal way. And we can also make sure that the space for the arms is enough, because this can be a problem later on in Marvelous Designer when we are designing clothes, if the arms are like kind of going through the body. So I would actually give it a little bit more arm space. If you pull this to the max, you will walk like a muscle guy, but somewhere here is okay. And we can keep all the other settings as they are. Then we press download. We can also keep the settings here, 30 frames per second, FBX with skin, and no keyframe reduction. Now this one is ready. So let's import it in Blender. File, import, FBX, and then go to the download folder and find the standard walk. And here we have our character. So for now, let's hide our old character to just see our new one. We can also hide the sneakers. Now we were lucky that this character came into the right scale. Sometimes it's scaled to 1/100th of the size, but that is also not a problem. You just scale the character. So the first thing we're gonna do is to go to the animation tab and see if the animation is working. So make sure that the timeline is set to 0. We go into the output here and we see frame start and frame end is on 0. So let's set the frame end to 500. And then press spacebar to play the animation. So let's play back the animation, and now we're gonna check that the materials are okay. So we go back to the shading tab and we can go into the rendered view, and we see that the materials are not looking like they should, and that is because we have exported the model to an FBX file where it loses most of the node setup. So we will have to reassign the old materials. But what is good is that the materials that we have here are having the same names as the original materials that we still have in the Blender file. So everything is just called .002 or .001. This is the body material. So we switched this one from 002 to just body. And then the toenails, we switch it from toenail 001 to just toenails. And then we have the legs. And as you switch these ones, you will see that the guy here starts to look like a human again. And actually now we can add a light, just so we see a little bit better what we are doing. I will add an area light. Let's add some material for the eyeballs. So now the human is good, and let's also do the shoes. So they're also named hair.001. So again we switch to the material that is called the same but without a number. And this is why it was so important to name the materials correctly from start. So now all the materials look good, both on the human and on the shoes. So we can add the hair to the character again. So we turn on the hair collection here. And as you may remember, we made 2 hairs, and I will actually go for the hair that I made in Blender and not the one that I exported from Daz. So let's delete the hair cap and the hair from Daz and just keep the one from Blender. And currently the particles are turned off, which is okay. We will put the human in a rest pose. So we click the bones and then go to this tab here called data, and then we put it in a rest position. And now let's see what happens when we click the hair again. And now it lines up perfectly. So then we can turn on the particles again, like this. And now we want to parent the hair to the bone here. So make sure that you click the hair and then shift, click the bone, press Ctrl Tab, and then you click the bone again, and then Ctrl P and select the bone. Now we tab out of post mode. When we are moving this rig here, the hair should follow. And if you want to try the animation with the hair parented to the bone, you go to the data tab again and click pose position. And now you can let the character walk. And of course it's heavier when you have the hair particles, but you will see that the hair will follow. So now the shaders are ready, both for the character and the shoes, and the hair is attached to the character as well. But the animation is only 36 frames long, so in the next tutorial we will extrapolate this walking cycle and make it ready for cloud simulations. Like, subscribe, and share this tutorial with your friends. See you in the next video.